A new book about life inside the Trump White House. In Fire and Fury, author Michael Wolff writes this about Ivanka Trump's political aspirations. Quote, Jared and Ivanka had made an earnest deal between themselves. If sometime in the future the time came, she'd be the one to run for president, or the first one of them to take the shot. The first woman president Ivanka entertained would not be Hillary Clinton. It would be Ivanka Trump. Let's bring in the Hardball Roundtable. Catherine Rampell is opinion columnist for The Washington Post. Christina Greer is a McSilver Institute Fellow at New York University. And Rick Tyler is a Republican strategist. It feels to me, obviously, this book seems to be, there's a lot of Bannon in this book. There's a lot of Bannon's perspective in this book. And one of the things that jumps out at me in these segments, in these sections about Bannon, about Jared and Ivanka, is the frustration he seemingly felt trying to play an outsized role, trying to guide the administration, and having family members right there.
Well, you can't fire family members, right? I mean, it was ultimately not a fair fight. Everybody knew it wasn't going to be a fair fight if you're Bannon. And that's part of the reason, to be honest, why you generally don't hire family members. That's why we have nepotism laws, because if they screw up, if they are fighting with other members of your office or your administration or what have you, then you can't get rid of them. And so you can understand why Bannon was frustrated. I mean, from my perspective, it's hard to know who to root for amongst this cast of characters because they're all incredibly problematic for lots of different reasons. But again, you can get rid of Bannon, you can get rid of Spicer, you can get rid of Priebus, but the president's daughter, the president's son-in-law, sorry, you can't fire them.
And Christina, and again, we seem to be getting Bannon's perspective here, but the perspective that's emerging from this book is the idea that Jared, that Ivanka didn't even have specific portfolios here. This was the tasks they're working on, the things they were doing every day. They just sort of flitted from one task to the other, while other folks around them tried to exercise discipline.
Well, the one thing we do know about Jared and Ivanka is that they're both highly unqualified to be anywhere near Washington, D.C. Both of them have gotten where they are in life because of their daddies. They have zero qualifications. They are not public servants. They don't come from families of public servants. So why are they in Washington, D.C. making policy and sitting in on upper-level meetings with these major security clearances and I can't stress enough the lack of qualification. So when you have someone like Bannon who traffics with anti-Semites, which I also think is very problematic, that he would even be in a room with Jared Kushner and Jared Kushner would even sort of use him as a partner, which to me is he'll have to deal with his ancestors on that one. But when you have someone like Jared, where we know he's there as this sort of window dressing, but he's also the father of Trump's grandchildren. So no, he's not going to get fired. But the two of them are in way over their heads, and this is the result that we see in this.
Well, I say so. It creates a situation then where Jared's still there, Ivanka's still there, Bannon's on the outside, and Bannon's taking shots. But Rick, veteran of Republican Party politics of many past campaigns, you must have stories about family members in campaigns and trying to do the job with family members lurking around.
Sure, none of which I'd like to share. Look, it turns out that Bannon also has a nuclear button on his desk, and he pushed it today. And so it's remarkable that he's implicating the president at the same time. It's been no secret that Bannon doesn't like what he refers to as Javanka, Jared and Ivanka, precisely because they have the president's ear, and he doesn't agree with them with where they want to go. Say what you will about Steve Bannon, he actually believes stuff. He has an ideology. He wants to follow that ideology. Trump doesn't.
So you have a sense, do you think this is a strategic break for him, or do you think he was just venting and he didn't realize how much was going to end up in print?
No, I'm sure he realized it. Remember, he invited the author, Michael Wolff, into the White House. The dozen times that Michael Wolff came into the White House, most of them were at the request of Steve Bannon. So he must have done. Look, Michael wrote a book. I mean, Michael didn't make up the stuff in the book. He interviewed 200 people, and then he wrote down what they said.
But so, I mean, that raises the possibility, if this is premeditated on Bannon's part, that this is a premeditated split. I mean, the implications here for the Trump-era Republican Party are huge. If you've got Trump and Bannon at war with each other publicly, and Bannon, if it's true this is premeditated, has some endgame in mind here.
Maybe he does and maybe he doesn't. I mean, Bannon was throwing bombs into the Republican Party basically for the last several years. This is not a new strategy for him. It is a different outcome in that he's having a potentially public split with Trump. And who knows what that means for the Bannon wing of the party. I saw that Don Jr. was on Twitter saying that he was scouring the comments on Breitbart, and Breitbart readers are very unhappy. You know you're reaching for the bottom of the barrel when you're looking to Breitbart commenters, anonymous commenters, for validation. But we don't know what it means for the Bannon wing. We don't know what it means for Trump. you know, it's not clear that either of them, Trump or Bannon, is going to end up stronger at the end of this.
Okay.